I feel like this relates to me a bit. Where is it at? I saw it the other day.
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar and
Where is it at?
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and I'm working on a video right now where I'm talking about
Because actually a few people asked me to talk about this.
GTA and everything, and specifically the older games. I'm actually going through like a nostalgic fest. I actually have a few ideas in my mind that are not escaping me, so unless I sit down and make videos on them, I'm actually going to go insane. Now, in the middle of this, I've been doing something for that video where I've basically been, capturing a bunch of things, commentating on a bunch of things, recording a bunch of things, looking over some old websites, and actually, what's really driving me insane, by the way, is trying to make a retro-emulated gaming computer, okay? Let me tell you something about Windows 98. In fact, it drives me so insane, you're gonna get a whole video now about how to install Windows 98 and play video games on it, because if I had to go through the madness, everyone else will do. And I swear I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna pop something. But anyways, I wanted to talk about something that, really just hit me right in the feels. Now, obviously, to make YouTube videos, it takes a lot of time. One of my favorite videos that I ever made was Did This Cult Infiltrate and Break 4chan? Where I talked about the synchronicity, experiments that were going on 4chan. It is a 50-minute long video. Now, this video was scripted before I had my appendix blow up on me. And once I got that surgery and I came back, I was like, this is what I'm actually crafting and making. This was my return video. Now, to understand, it takes time to make content, okay? To script it out, to source things out, to create it. A 50-minute video will take you like somewhere around 20, maybe 25 hours of, proper content.
Yeah, like my iceberg videos, for example, they take a lot longer than people think, because I don't just pick the Reddit posts of iceberg. I have my editor, Michael, he researches for me as well. There's a bunch of research that goes into it.
To do it, if you're truly efficient. When you're doing
Those are good, by the way.
investigations, triple the time on that one. So obviously 75 hours put into it for a 50-minute video that may make you, whatever amounts of revenue you can. This, I remember, was actually demonetized because I put 4chan into the title. But at some point, I just don't really care too much about the monetization aspect, because money is not important to me as much as making a banger YouTube video is. Now, sometimes in recent memories, I've started to notice a resurgence of reaction channel nonsense. Now, again, I'm not coming...
So, what he's about to talk about is, Twitch reactors, which I am both. I am a YouTuber who spends a lot of time on making videos, and I'm also a quote-unquote Twitch reactor. So I'm curious what he had to say about it.
I had this from some weird, hate stance, if you will. I'm going to be talking about some people who I consider myself to be good friends, people that I respect, people that I look up to. But, I think that's what allows us to criticize and talk about each other when we see something a little bit, not cool, if we will. Now, to understand, reaction meta on Twitch is massive, It's a lot easier to load up a stream for 12 hours a day, 13, 14, 15, however many hours you need, and then effectively just react to shit, All you have to do is put on a YouTube video, react to it, and statistically, you will retain viewership over a several, course of hours that you're streaming. Now, of course, if you're streaming and you spend 12 hours playing video games like GTA role-playing or Rainbow Six Siege, or something that requires you to put in 100% more energy than you would ever have to do just sitting back watching a YouTube video, that obviously takes way more effort, I would say, all right?
Oh, probably 240.
Right? Streaming already is kind of a lazy venture, in my opinion, because, hey, it's easy for me to fire up OBS, hit start streaming, and just entertain for hours on end. It's actually more economically viable. I don't like doing it because I still have a liking for making proper traditional YouTube content. I think I like making good banger videos and calling it a day, at least.
Now, I'll say something interesting. Is he said that it's easier to watch videos than it would be to play games. I think they're the same. I'll be honest, because the difference is, I guess it depends on what type of quote unquote reactor. This is very condescending. I'll get to it. I don't really I don't really care about this. People can have their opinions. It doesn't bother me that he doesn't like this. I get why you wouldn't like it. It makes sense. But personally, after being every type of content creator, I've been a YouTuber. I mainly am a YouTuber. I used to play games all the time on Twitch, and I also am turning into a reactor on Twitch. There's a lot of different levels to it. I'll admit that reacting takes a little bit more energy than playing games. And the reason for that, yeah, goddamn. But the reason for that, music too, my man, yeah, that's true. I do make music. I'm not trying to boast on how much shit I do, but I know what you're saying. But basically, I'm saying I work hard. But the reacting stuff, the reason it's tough, you know, it's probably different for different streamers. Some streamers don't really put much into it. But I always try to put a lot of commentary to it, which I get complaints about all the time, which is ironic. I get complaints that I pause videos and I talk for a long time because I feel like it's pointless to be reacting to something that you're not going to be giving a decent opinion on, or not even an opinion, but just adding the entertainment value to it. And the reason I feel like reacting is a little bit, again, depending on what you're reacting to and how much, you know, you're saying, it takes more energy because of how much you talk. Because when you're playing games, I mean, maybe GTA RP might be a little bit different because you do have to play a character and stuff like that. I will admit that does take a little bit more effort, which, I mean, every type of content takes, I feel like the whole effort thing is all subjective and case by case. Because there are some React streamers who, I'll admit, don't do shit. They just watch videos and then just sit there and watch them. They don't really do anything. But there's also some streamers who put a lot of work into their reaction content and keep trying to have a commentary and keep trying to talk throughout. But personally, I feel like I've had a lot more troubles keeping up with reacting and the effort of trying to be entertaining when I'm reacting to something compared to playing a game. Because when you're playing a game, you're not only being an entertainer, but people are also watching the game that you're playing. So half of the entertainment is the game that you're playing, which, I mean, to be fair, who am I kidding? You could argue the same for the video that you're watching. But I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, is that I feel like there's more effort into reacting, again, depending on what you do. But for what I do, it's a little bit more effort.
At least that's how it works for me. I treat YouTube very much like a personal diary, very much like a shit post for me, and I just post whatever I like to do. The randomness is always something that I appreciate. Now, of course, getting back to the topic over here, when it comes to, you know, streaming, obviously it's an easy endeavor, but it becomes even easier when all you have to do is slip on somebody else's YouTube video, watch it, and do whatever you can. Now, of course, I'm not so bent out of it when somebody on Twitch watches a video from a YouTuber, whether it be me or one of my peers, and, you know, that's all it is. The story ends over there. I think that idea of cross-site promotion is actually pretty cool, okay? There's a lot of people on Twitch that would draw eyes that would probably never touch YouTube to potentially try YouTube for once, watching somebody's content.
And vice versa,
Where I start to get, like, a little weirded out is when, like, the Twitch channels will then all of a sudden not only stream the entire video, raking in massive profits from subs and whatnot over on Twitch, and then re-upload it on an official YouTube channel run by them or a team, and then double dip into the situation. Now, it's not even the revenue that wilds me out too much about that too. It's really what the effect on the YouTube algorithm ends up being.
All right, this is the part I'm curious about.
A prominent figure, you know, somebody that I've had like a little run-in with the past over. We had a little disagreement, but Dark Viper is a really good content creator. He creates a lot of good GTA 5 content, and in the last few weeks, what really inspired me to touch this topic, again, this is just a primer video, by the way, but he made a video, like a series of videos where he was reacting to all the takes that various Twitch streamers had about him, specifically when it came to him writing a 14-page document about Twitch reactions. Now, of course, Dark Viper was a little...
was that the dude who people were complaining about because he said something about... who was it? Critical, I think, had an issue with him or something like that.
He used a lot of extreme examples, one of them regarding consent and whatnot. But, you know, at the end of the day, when I read his document, I almost sat down and just said, where's the lie? Dark Viper is not wrong. When people on Twitch react to a video and then just re-upload it onto YouTube, it will kill the growth of any small channel. Now, there are exceptions, okay? There are plenty of channels that do gain...
Now, I don't... The only reason I don't agree with that is because... Here's my thing. It's the copy. It's also, I feel like it's the same situation with the copyright situation. Whereas if you put copyright on something, you are hindering your potential for growth. if you are putting copyright on things. You're putting a threshold on how much interest and viewers you could actually reach if you didn't have a copyright. For example, let's just take music, for example. And we'll get to videos, but like music, for example, a lot of music nowadays that blow up are music that isn't copyrighted, that YouTubers get to use all the time, or streamers get to play in the background all the time, and then viewers hear it and then listen to it. Like a lot of my music has gained viewers, like has gained listens from just people using my songs for other things. Same goes for YouTube videos. If you're a YouTuber, like I've seen so many YouTube channels blow up from nothing, specifically because they make content that is like, I wouldn't say centered toward Twitch reactions, but it is the perfect reaction stuff, if that makes sense. Like I've seen a lot of, I'm trying to think of what the word is. Like what, okay, the thing is with Twitch reactors, the interesting stuff is what people like. Not, you know, Twitch reactors don't watch movie reviews. Twitch reactors don't watch maybe game reviews, but when it comes to like the interesting stuff, like, oh, I didn't know that type thing, that's the shit that blows up. Like who was it? I think Patrick CC, he was doing okay, but then when he started making those types of videos, I've seen like big Twitch streamers start reacting to his shit, and his channel's blowing up. The thing is you can solely grow your channel from a Twitch streamer just reacting to your channel one time. If they're a big Twitch streamer and then you make a video that catches the eye of a Twitch streamer, they react to it, boom, you start blowing up. Like, example, Kay's Cooking is another good example. She started doing really good because a bunch of people started reacting to her. Lots of exposure, exactly. The thing is, it's a blessing and a curse, because the good parts of it are also the bad parts of it. Because the good parts of it is that you can help out small channels, you can spread awareness of all that, but there's also bad parts to it too. 2K subs and ended up going on a UK TV show. Oh, did she really? That's awesome. Asma does a lot with obscure WoW lore videos. Yeah, I've been trying to look for like smaller channels of like videos that are pertaining to the type of content I've been doing lately. I've been trying to find smaller channels so I can, you know, promote them instead of just going to straight Ballin all the time. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have found Ballin. Yeah, a lot of you guys found Mr. Ballin from me and other channels from me. It's just that thing of I only started watching V2 Sunny thanks to Moist Critical. And that's what I'm saying. It's literally just spreading the wealth. That's how I see it. I see it as spreading the wealth. But I get what he's saying about what I do, because I do it. I react to something, I commentate on something, and then I take that and then I post it to YouTube, you know, for extra revenue. But personally, that's because I don't make anything off of Twitch. I'll be honest. I make like no money off of Twitch. But I don't know. The thing is, it's just good for your Twitch. For example, I have 260 viewers right now. Before I started doing that thing where I watch a video and then post it to YouTube, I probably average 50 viewers. I've like tripled my average view count because people who watch me on YouTube and find that second channel on YouTube, or maybe even just don't know me, find that channel on YouTube, they come to my streams and start watching my streams. It's just boosting my channel, because that is, let's be real, one of the only ways to grow on Twitch, because you can't grow on Twitch naturally. The only way you can grow on Twitch is if you do the YouTube thing, or you know someone who's huge on Twitch and you collab with them, or you do something outlandish or crazy, or maybe you have some quirk that everyone loves and then you just happen to blow up. It's not like YouTube. You can't blow up on Twitch like you can on YouTube.
Benefits from having some level of, you know, shout out from various Twitch communities. I think Sunny V2 is a pretty decent example, but I also think Sunny V2 was growing long before he was ever shot in by Twitch, you know, shout outs. And a lot of it was him creating actual content that people would search. I would search 90% of the videos Sunny V2 makes. And I think that's the mark of a good YouTuber.
But it pushed him. But that's the thing. Yes, he was growing and he's a good YouTuber, but the Twitch pushed him even further beyond than what he would have. Or at least maybe he would have reached that goal regardless, but they sped it up. They got him
when
there.
you can cover things succinctly, properly, and send them out to people that would watch them, right? I think that's a big aspect of it. I'm not talking about necessarily every form of reaction content on YouTube. Obviously, people create reaction videos in different standards. I think one of my golden standards of React content is probably the original H3 videos, in terms of let's take an actual, video, let's show pieces of it, and then let's fill it up with a lot of our own commentary and a lot of our own skits. I think that's a definition of proper transformative content, quite literally as it's one in a court case. But in a lot of cases, when it's literally somebody watching an entire video on YouTube, that becomes a pretty good standard for a market substitute. What people don't understand about fair use law, which is, coming out of like a copyright law from like the 70s, which I think is absurd, by the way, for it to stand in the test of time for new mediums of transmission.
It's stupid.
But the
It's
general
so great.
idea is, even when it comes to fair use, you could technically show an entire video. But are you a market substitute? If so, well, then it's not really fair use. Are you critiquing the whole video? Are you criticizing it? Are you using it to make points? Are there moments of your video where it's completely dead air? If you have to ask yourself the question, have I done enough fair use? You probably haven't done enough fair use. When it comes to anything on YouTube, I think for people who are primarily YouTubers who make content, specifically commentary.
But I mean, I don't agree with that, mainly because I think copyright's stupid, but that's just me. I think copyright's stupid to an extent. I mean, I can't really say all copyright, because I'm sure, like rights to, you selling your own shit is different copyright. I'm talking about content copyright. I feel like music copyright and all that different shit, I don't know. I feel like it's stupid to the point of people selling it, if that makes sense.
Or edited content, the amount of clips that we use and the amount that we show, we have to really judge and properly give the right amount of context and the right amount of commentary. Otherwise, even if we use like a second or two wrong in our YouTube videos, we open ourselves up to a fair use issue. So again, it's kind of wild that on YouTube,
but it's a gray area,
can be hijacked, then completely re-uploaded. And there's not an issue of DMCA happening. There's not even like a problem with anything. Like, this is not fair use. If the commentary or your reaction is an entire re-upload of somebody's video, you've created a market substitute, and it would be really difficult for you to argue actual fair use.
But here's the problem with that is fair use doesn't have a definition. I feel like that's the thing that I hate about fair use is it just says transformative. That's it. But what does that define? What does that mean? Like, to what extent is that transformative thing? That's why I hate the fair use law so much, is because there is no definition. There is no surefire way to tell whether or not something is completely fair use or not. Because I've made videos completely transformative in nature, all like completely like I probably used one clip of something in a video that's like 30 minutes long, and then my entire video gets claimed. It's the thing that's stupid about it is there's no third party that defines that. The third party is the copyright holder. If the copyright holder believes that it's not fair use, then it's not fair use. That's the problem, is there's no one defining what the fair use is. The fair use is defined by the copyright holder, not the person who's making the video or a third party. So it's unfair on all counts.
2 weeks ago, I made this one video where I talked about just $160 million NFT disasters. The whole like Otherverse NFT stuff, where like 160 million bucks were burnt in Ethereum. Of course, underneath it, Asmongold reacted to it, basically taking the title of the video and just also hijacking the search algorithms of this. Now, of course, I don't mind too much. Being a larger channel myself, I can weather the storm, and my videos always usually are the #1 viewed on that topic, even amongst any reaction out there. But of course, where it starts to get a little hazier is when you have smaller channels who basically rely on YouTube growth to make anything going forward. For a lot of people who have over 1 million subscribers,
but that doesn't make any sense, because if Asmongold reacted to a smaller channel video, that smaller channel would obviously not make as many views as Asmongold, but they would gain way more viewers if they didn't have Asmongold react to it. When are you going to be on Some Ordinary Podcast? Probably never. I don't even know if I don't know if he likes me or not. because of the whole situation that I had with a little group of YouTubers hated me back then. And I think, I don't know, maybe he likes me, maybe he does. I just don't really know. It's like, yes, it's fair use, but it kind of can be seen as an asshole move, like basically using their content for 80% of the YouTube video. But that's what I'm saying. It's that gray area shit that you can't, I don't know. There's no mediator. There's no one to say whether or not something is fair use or not. It's based on what the copyright holder wants. And yeah, like I hate people who use, 90% of someone's content. Like, for example, if I was watching this, watch the whole video, and then the last 5 seconds be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something like that, that would be stupid. Like, that's not fair. It's dumb. I hate people who do that. And I don't hate the people who do that. I just hate the process of doing that. I think it's unfair. But the fair use gods. There is no one to define fair use. Mr. Beast reactions? Yeah. Yeah, like Mr. Beast reactions. Doesn't he just react to, like, satisfying videos? How do people feel about people reacting to you? Please. I would love it if people reacted to me. That's how I view it. I would love it if people reacted to my content. Hell, I've said it countless times. Anyone who wants to use any of my content ever for your channel, do it. If you want to take the clips off of my Twitch, or if you want to take clips off of my videos and make a video out of it, do it. If you want to make a video talking about how my political takes are the worst takes ever in the entire world, and I'm this awful human, do it. Like, you have every right to use whatever you want from mine, from my content, to do what you want with it. You can make as much money as you want off of it, because how I view it is, like, you're giving me, at the same time of you growing with what I'm doing, and potentially could even make money out of what I make, I am also getting exposure as well. It's a plus for everyone. You know what I mean?
You can weather the storm pretty easily, because the way that YouTube's algorithm is mostly centered around is the idea of watch time. If you make longer videos, like 15 minutes, 20-minute videos, maybe hour-long videos, sometimes I go that far, what will happen is you'll build an insane amount of watch time. The more watch time you have, the more YouTube is likely of recommending you in the algorithm. So, of course, when you're a larger channel and you get a reaction to your video here and there, it's not going to hurt you as much as it hurts somebody with, say, 50,000 subscribers that's consistently trying to make absolute banger content. The problem with that person...
But it would help them. That's what I don't get. That's the only thing I don't get about his point, is because it would help them. It would get them exposure. That's how I see it.
Growth is when all of a sudden their videos have been basically reacted to, and now YouTube's entire search algorithm is filled with their video and various other reactions, which sometimes, because of the reactor size, may actually outrank their own video. All of a sudden their growth diminishes. Now, of course, if you're a smaller creator
that
and all of a
diminish.
sudden you're like, hey, I feel great that a larger creator is reacting to me, right? In a lot of senses, it's cool, right? It's a cool thing to see, being acknowledged by the upper echelon of...
And also, I would like to mention, anytime anyone ever sees me react to something and they don't want me reacting to their content and they reach out to me and say, please don't, I will not react to it. You know what I mean? So if like that's just the thing. If I ever react to a video and that content creator like @s me on Twitter or sends me an email saying, hey, can you not do that? Like, I'm not going to react to it. Like Mr. Ballin, for example, I reacted to many of his videos. That's why I asked him, I was like, hey, is it okay if I do this? And he even said in one of my videos, he commented on one of my videos saying, yes, please react to my content. What if they say, please do? Then yeah, I'll react to it. That's what I'm saying.
You know, the communities. But it's one thing to do that, and it's another thing to understand when you've actually been taken advantage of in the system, and all of a sudden, your channel health and longevity is put at risk by somebody who basically has taken your content, and instead of working that day, just reacted to it, re-uploaded it within the hour, and fucking washed their hands and wiped away. That's pretty much what it gets down to. Now, I used Asmongold. If
I see evidence of a channel doing worse from someone reacting to it, then I'll agree with him. If there is evidence of like a channel suffering because a big streamer reacts to them, then I would love, I want to see that. If that's the case, I want to see like an actual proof of that, because that doesn't make sense to me. Look up Beetlejuice 2 cast. Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, and Johnny Depp. Yo, for real? Yo, that's going to be awesome. Hell yeah. 2025. Let's fucking go, dude.
As one of the reactors in this initially, and I just want to say to start off with, Asmongold's video is 39 minutes in length compared to my 17-minute video. This actually will showcase that Asmongold has put a considerable amount of commentary into the entire video. But when it comes to the idea of fair use, we have to talk about market substitutions, because there's 4 pillars when it comes to this kind of stuff, and one of them is the amount and substantiality that it's actually used. In this case law from the University of Miami Law School, we actually look directly into this paragraph that actually really speaks about how much you can and cannot use in fair use. So again, when we're talking about market subsidies, when you basically take somebody's entire piece of content, it's very difficult to prove any form of fair use in a court law. But even if you use very little, this is an interesting excerpt you should read. However, the orthodox gloss is not always reliable. To predict case outcomes accurately, the analysis must focus on the likelihood of substitution when evaluating the amount copied. By focusing merely on the amount copied, the usual understanding of the third factor fails to account adequately for many of the case holdings. In Iowa State, for instance, the defendant telecast only 2.5 minutes of the plaintiff.
This is old news, though. I see Amber Heard fans that Winona doesn't support Depp, even though she's agreeing to be in a movie with him. Of course, that's what they're saying. Okay, here's my view on this. He said this was 1970, right? Or this is 1982. But regardless, this is old. Like, okay, the way the world works now is the fact that everyone is illegally watching copyrighted content every day. Like millions of people are illegally watching copyrighted content every single day. That's why fair use is, like, I feel kind of needs to be updated, changed. Something needs to be changed, because we would, if we took every court, like every one of these copyright issues, these fair use issues to court, like everyone would be a criminal. Everyone would fucking go to jail. Like, everyone would have to pay a big fine for it. That's my problem with this, is the fact that everyone does it is the problem. Is we can't, you know, pick and choose, and I don't know. Something needs to be updated is all I'm saying, because if this is back when there weren't streamers. This is back when there weren't YouTubers. This is back when, you know, internet wasn't even a big deal. I mean, if it was the 70s, internet wasn't even really a thing. So it doesn't make sense that we're going to be using outdated laws like this, which, I mean, to be fair, we always do in America. That's just how it is. We use outdated laws. But I feel like it's kind of pointless to go to this as a way to prove that it's wrong because of how outdated it is.
Plaintiff's 28-minute film. The defendant claimed that the amount copied was quantitatively insignificant. The court's implicit reasoning, however, was that since the defendant's secondary use could substitute for the sale of the plaintiff's film, the secondary use infringed. The Supreme Court has applied an analysis similar to the Iowa State analysis of the third factor. For instance, in Harper and Rowe, the court denied the defendant's fair use claim, although the amount copied was quantitatively insignificant, quoting a mere 300 words, from the plaintiff's large book. Very small. The defendant published its own version of President Gerald Ford's memoirs. Despite the minimal copying, the Supreme Court held against the defendant, stating that the qualitative importance of the material taken must also be considered. The courts noted that the defendant copied what was essentially the heart of the original work. So even if you use
like we're talking about books, bro. Like, we're talking about books right now, man. Like, you know, things are way too different now. Like, everyone is breaking this law every day. That's the thing. Like, there's so many people breaking this. If that's the case, there's so many people breaking this law every single day, and that's a problem. That they, obviously the government needs to realize, hey, maybe we should change this. Maybe this isn't working out. These outdated laws. If we are going to enforce these, and there's so many people who are breaking it constantly.
Very, very little. If you copy what is the heart of the original work, basically some could consider it the, meat of the original product, basically the one reason people would watch the original video, you would basically be infringing. So again, it's very dependent, and lawyers are paid big bucks to look at this very specifically. Now, obviously, this is an incredibly beneficial practice for Asmongold, as frankly, in a matter of a few hours, he can upload 50-minute, 47-minute videos that absolutely do well in the watch time, literally all about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, which is all the rage in terms of Twitch streamers and some YouTubers right now. I'm not really that much of an expert on it. I'm just using this necessarily an example for what the reaction.
Everybody's literally every
it's a little
streamer
different,
is
however,
watching
reacting to court stuff, simply because I don't believe there's a copyright domain on that, so this is well within the rights. But of course, when it comes to a YouTuber, things start to change because YouTubers are not big, giant media organizations that have a lot of money to deal with in the first place. A lot of it can be a losing game, especially if you're a newer person at the start. And when you're being aped on the algorithm,
he's live right
by
now.
far larger than you,
Asmongold, he's always
probably
live.
the one thing that may not make you succeed in the long term. And obviously, the lazy content is definitely very rewarded on YouTube, as Asmongold's up there with like 91 million views for the last 30 days.
Oh, yeah. He probably makes fucking millions of dollars off of his YouTube channel. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's just the truth. Yeah.
Obviously, this is incredibly
XQC does it too.
Platform in this case, the YouTube algorithm seems to.
I mean, I do it
this
too.
Level of,
I mean, I don't make millions of dollars. I only get like 30,000 views a video. But yeah. I do it too. I'll admit that for sure.
You could say lazier content. Even people like XQC, who absolutely uploads a lot of content regarding GTA roleplay, plays games as well, spend several hours reacting to stuff, and sometimes re-uploads it onto his channel. Now, before anybody brings me that super weird take of, hey, but if this streamer has to stream for 12 hours, I'm streaming for 11 hours a day, right? Therefore, if I'm doing 11 hours of playing a video game, don't I get an hour to just watch some video, wind down? No, it's not the purge, bro, okay? Just because you've lived a lawful life for the entire year doesn't mean you get a whole day to commit whatever crime you want. That doesn't mean...
He's calling it okay. Listen, you can't call this a crime. If this is a crime, what? No, if this is a crime, we'd all be in jail. That okay, don't get me wrong. I get what he's saying. He's using what the law is currently. He's basically saying this is how it works. This is how it is now. And I agree. That is how it works, and that is how it is now. But the problem is everyone's breaking the law. So if that's the case, if we're committing crimes doing this, then yeah, no more Badlands Chugs, basically. No more Mr. Ballin. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's so many laws that are just old. There's so many laws that are just outdated. I mean, even Mudahar himself said this law is very outdated. But that's why I think it's strange that I don't know. No, it makes sense. He's just using it as, hey, this is what it is now. This is how it works. And I get that. I just think that things need to change because we are technically committing crimes all the time then, which would be a big problem, which technically is a big problem.
Make any sense, okay? I would love to see that brought up in a court, by the way, too. And also, just as a wild shock, if you as a streamer, and I understand for a streamer, having as many hours as you can is basically your ticket to growth, your one ticket, then if you don't have the content to stream or the energy to stream without basically leaving a video on and walking away, maybe, and here's a real wild, shocking take, maybe
here we go.
Stream less. I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking too much. Maybe it's a real hot take on this one, but I don't know. Now, this is a little less...
Yeah, I would agree with him, but that's just, it's streaming. I don't know. I don't really know how else to say it. That's just streaming, man. It's not... The thing is there are streamers out there who stream a little bit and do very well. But if you want to be the best, if you want to be at the top, if you want to get the most views that you possibly can get, yeah, you should be streaming 12 hours a day. And for those streamers like Hassan, XQC, Asmongold, yeah, that's what they do. That is what you have to do to be at the top, because that's how Twitch is. That's what the algorithm does. That doesn't mean that their content's bad, and which, I mean, to be fair, like, I'm not going to go into that, but that's not really an attack on their content. It's more of an attack on Twitch. I feel like that's Twitch's fault. That's not necessarily their fault, that in order for them to gain more viewership and, be at the top is to stream 12 hours a day. Do you stream 12 hours a day? No, I stream, 2.5 to 3 hours, 3 days a week. I don't stream much at all. But, yeah, it's not really their fault that they don't really care about the morality of it, and they just, want to be at the top. That's just how it is.
It's egregious to me, because what XQC will do is not straight up steal the title like Asmongold had done in the original reaction stuff too, but he'll upload stuff like Stunned by Daily Dose of Internet. Now, Daily Dose of Internet is a very large creator who uploads, videos that are 2 minutes long.
That's literally just Twitch React
It's a daily dose
Central
of the internet. Now, of course, in this video, when you get into direct market substitutes, the idea of putting your webcam in the corner and just having like the entire video basically play, this, my friends, would be a direct market substitute. Now, I don't know whether to be shocked or stunned by these videos, so I'm going to click one randomly, and we're going to compare it to like Jinx.
Yeah, I'll admit XQC's titles are fucking trash, but it fucking works, man.
Somebody
that's YouTube, dude.
Directly called out for doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, Daily Dose, yeah. Doesn't Daily Dose love all of them and compliment them and say thank you for watching his videos all the time?
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
same with All Gas No Brakes. What's his name? Andrew.
I mean, we directly called out Jinx here on the right years ago when this was happening, but now that it's resurged with, people like XQC on the left, there's a few people that are staying quiet. But I might ask you, ladies and gentlemen, what's the difference?
Yeah, that they really go back to the, I'll admit, I was against Jinx back then too. Yeah, everyone goes back to the Jinx thing. I don't know why everybody's obsessed with 2016. But yeah, Jinx, and for you guys who don't know Jinx had like a big controversial thing where he was uploading like 10 videos a day of him just reacting to it, to like random shit.
Bruh.
But personally, it's way different, which again, this is case by case, and this is obviously not the same for everybody, but Jinx was literally doing nothing. He didn't say a word. Like, when I'm talking about not say a word, I'm talking straight up just looks at video, and then every once in a while, wow, that's crazy. Like, I even joined in on the commentary shit on Jinx. Like, I called him shit all the time. I hated it. I thought it was stupid. But I don't know. I feel like, again, like I said before, case by case, it's different when people are putting in more than just that. Wow, really? Not actually giving any opinions, any layers on top of it. But to each their own. Like I don't really care. I mean, it makes sense why some people probably hate it. I completely get it. If people think it's lazy. I personally don't find it lazy, and that's coming from someone who does everything, who spends days on end working on YouTube videos, who also works shitloads of time on making music and all that different stuff. I personally don't think it's easy. I think it's pretty tough to continually be entertaining. Now, if you're at the top, like XQC, you could probably just sit there and fart while a video's playing and still get 100K. That's different. But again, case by case.
Like I said in the beginning of the video, I really have no ill will against anybody here. Look, I'm friendly with a lot of these people. I'm on good terms with them. But this is something that I've noticed for several months
does do
on
that,
YouTube.
yeah.
It's something
True.
that's been hitting my recommendations like crazy. And one of the only things that I can do is when you see it on your homepage, the only thing you can ever take care of is basically like going onto the actual channel, clicking those 3 buttons and hitting don't recommend. It's about the only thing that I can say for anybody that's primarily has become some sort of a reaction Andy on the internet. Because yes,
man, I wish I could say that about my reaction channel. I don't get the recommendations that they've been getting, I'll tell you that much. But and also I don't even get, actually, wait, do I even get, I don't really ever see recommendations of reactions to stuff. Yeah. Because again, chat, it is based on what you watch. And to be fair, the reason that he might be getting it is the fact that he was researching it and probably clicked on it a few times and it was there. I know, honey. I'm hurrying up.
This space is finite. People's time is finite, okay? And if you're somebody whose videos is getting constantly reacted to and you're pushed out of the algorithm, but people are watching your videos, even if it's by proxy, that will ultimately harm you in the long run. I think when people hear the word exposure, they think, wow, I'm going to get a lot of benefit out of just a reaction. And it's oftentimes like a hit or miss depending on how good it does. I will say most of the times it does not do very well. If a video of mine gets reacted to, I very minimally see the tiniest of spikes on a video analytic. And you can...
Because you're already big. Like, if you're a channel with 10K or 20K, like... you'll get a huge spike. Like your view is skewed by how many views you get. It's weight, and plus everybody who watches Asmongold probably already knows who Some Ordinary Gamer is.
You know what I mean? The same thing with creators like JXC, whose videos reacted to, where they got like a whopping, I think, like 100 views, period, on their channel, like just in a time frame. But even beyond that, sure, while this is depending on, like, there's many factors that go into it, exposure ultimately is not going to pay the bills. You can't go into a bank account and deposit exposure.
Dude, what year is it, man? A lot of things you've said in here just reminds me of 2016. Yeah, obviously you don't get paid with exposure. But the thing is exposure helps. All I'm saying is if someone reacts to your video compared to someone not reacting to your video, I would say 99.99% of the time you would choose for someone to react to that video, because regardless, your name's going to get out there to people who have never heard of you before. It's good. It is. I get lots of XUC reacts, but that's because I watch the streams all the time. Yeah. I would have never found or subbed to Ballin if I hadn't seen him or seen him for your stream. And that's what I'm saying. Yes, obviously exposure doesn't pay the bills. But if you're a starting channel, if your channel's starting out, and if someone reacts to your shit, you're going to want that. You know what I mean? You're definitely going to want that. It's going to do wonders for your channel compared to not doing that. You know, what is the thing is what is the downside of someone reacting to your channel? That's what I'm confused with, is I can't fathom what the downside is to a big streamer reacting to your channel, unless they're shitting on you. I mean, obviously that would be a downside. That would be the only downside. Okay, I think I said all I need to say, because I got to head out here. But I assume that he's just wrapping. Yeah, he's just wrapping it up at the end there. But yeah. I mean, I get what he was trying to say. I do. I just, respectfully disagree with his assumptions of the what's the word I'm thinking of? Exposure. Because I don't know. I've seen so many channels do amazing by the fact of them getting exposed to by big streamers. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I personally just think the fair use law needs to get adjusted a bit or changed. It's too outdated. It's too goddamn outdated.
Now it's time to walk away. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Did you laugh or cry or maybe subscribed? I'll thank you either way. You know I will miss you. I hope you return. tell your friend or your mother to get me more views, please.